How was the course? Was it sufficiently demanding for you?
It was demanding. There were tears, there were temper tantrums, there were moments of, I can't do this anymore. But yeah, it was very challenging.
Yeah.
In a good way as well.
Yeah.
I feel like I've learned a lot.
Yeah.
Ask for help a lot, but I also get help a lot.
Yeah.
So this is a very valuable process for me.
Yeah.
As a teacher.
Good.
I'm better teacher.
Well, it was actually everything that I thought it would be. I know me as a learner, and I resist change. So going through the course, kind of similar to you, I had my ups and downs, had my little temper tantrums, and I can't do it. And then, I liked the fact that it was challenging and it pushed me beyond where I was as a teacher.
I think the course was intense. However, I did learn a lot, not only about teaching, but about myself during the course.
It's very challenging, especially because you have work and you have to do this at the same time. But then I think it's a lot more rewarding than the actual challenge that I've been facing, because I have learned a lot.
Really?
What would you say was the major thing that you learned?
Well, I completely learned how to teach adults, because I never taught adults before, and even for the kids. Like, you get new activities, you know how to bring meaning into the content, so you're delivering something that they actually can use when they go outside.
I found even through week one, when you taught us about give the students time to think, before asking a question, and even just that from that first, I think that was maybe the first day or the second day, I kind of saw myself changing within the classroom.
So I learned a lot from how to run young learner class, which I have never done it before.
Yeah.
I know about behavior management, classroom management for young learners. So for that, I turned a corner on that.
Oh, cool.
Really fresh look on young learners.
Your approach to teaching adults, has that adapted in any way?
Yes, of course. I'm more focused on the student's needs. Which field exactly is he in? I'm trying to provide more material that's catered to that specific field, specific need for him or for her.
Yeah.
I have improved so much as a teacher. I've learned so much from this course. Before this course, I was honestly very unsure of what advices to give to my students' parents, how to practice certain target languages that I teach inside the classroom. But since I've been doing this course, I've improved so much on that. I know what to say to them. I'm more confident on explaining why I'm teaching this certain target language.
Knowing that I do have some weaknesses when I teach, and then having them being pointed out was tough on me, even though I knew that they were there. And those were positive challenges for sure, because every time that it was pointed out, I do believe that I was getting better at addressing them when I was teaching. So I remember my last class, my teacher talk wasn't as much, and really trying hard to keep my voice at a good level so I don't cause the children to be so hyper the entire class. So all of those were very positive changes for me and challenges that I will continue to do.
Good. So it sounds like you've had quite a lot of growth from your first class compared to your last class here.
I feel I have, at least.
Beforehand, I hadn't delved much into adults, so that was a huge learning curve for me. Kind of the staging, I taught adults before, but kind of winging it almost, I went into it, I had a textbook and I kind of followed that. When learning how to stage it, but teaching for gist and teaching for detail and things like that, it really evolved my sense of adult teaching.
What part of your approach to teaching young learners did you think you've improved in?
Definitely giving them more opportunity. So previously it was very controlled, right? Very much guided practice, with a touch of freer practice, but very late on. So trying to give them more opportunity to produce natural sentences as opposed to what we decide, okay, I'll teach them this is blue or whatever, but giving them more usage of the language that's more natural to them as well.
Okay, so you felt like you were fostering language acquisition as distinct from just teaching.
So teaching the adults, I found a little bit of a challenge because I've never taught adults before. I think the inputs beforehand for the staging of the lessons was extremely helpful to be able to get all of those parts in order to be able to deliver the class properly. For the young learners, teaching young learners I don't necessarily find a challenge, but my biggest concern was having those classes without a partner in the room to support. So I feel like I accomplished something at the end of those classes by keeping control of the whole class and delivering learning results to them without having that extra person in the room.
You get to see teaching from a different angle, and you realize there's so much things that you've been doing before that's either, I won't say wrong, but it's holding you back. And there's a lot of things that you could be doing to improve your teaching.
Yes, this is a valuable learning process. I think if you want to be a very professional, you want to develop on this career, this is something that you really should put yourself in there and really read books and really practice and really learn from trainers, from the trainees, from everyone. So this is a really good learning process.
I think that the course is very beneficial for learning different ways to teach. Even though I've been in Asia for 5 years teaching, I've only known how to teach one way, and that's the way that our company has told us to teach. So doing this course, I've learned different ways of drilling and getting to learning results. And I think that's really beneficial as a set of skills to take to different places. The course also, at different times, we had to present to our peers, and I think that's another transferable skill that you learn during the course. It's not just about teaching, it's about all these other small parts that you can learn to take on with you.
Oh, I would tell them to do it, especially if they want to have growth within their teaching. I will say that knowing me and how I kind of regress when things are challenging, you're going to go through a lot of personal growth as well, not just professional growth.